Every day was a negative. Hey, Martin, hey, Martin.
Speaks of birth to guarantees the sons. Her children pledge each faithful heart to guard Guyana's lands, to find the shock of rude invaders who violate her earth, to cherish and defend forever the state that gave them birth. We forge a nation's mighty soul, construct a nation's sway. Freedom our everlasting goal, courage and truth our aim. Unyielding in our quest for peace, like ancient heroes brave, to strive and never cease, with strength beyond the slave. Guyana plant of glorious virtue, faith, prosperity, joining the universal search for worldwide community. Your
All right, so today we are here at Club Twilight up in Buxton, and we are here to talk about all that's going on up here. Trust me, if you are on the East Coast, you're in Buxton, you're in town, you're looking for a place to get away to, this is the place. The Cutters, mwah. Listen, I'll be having some just now again. We'll talk about that. And then, of course, the ambience is beautiful, fully air conditioned. The decor is on point. The music's on point. Everything's on point. It's just me. I need some work, but everything else that belongs to this club here is on point. So if you want to find a nice little place, or you can just drive out of town and have some drinks, have some food, you can call, you can order your stuff and just take it. You don't have to stay. Or if you want to stay here, that's what's up. And of course, they have special events for Valentine's. You can rent a hall. You can rent a hall, honey. You can rent a hall for weddings, for birthday parties, to have a bash. I hope he edits that out. But you know, whatever it is, this is definitely the place to be. So it's on Sideline Dam. You definitely want to ensure that you check this place out. But it's on your to-do list. All right, on your to-do list. This is definitely the place to check out, you know, a really cool, chill spot here in Buxton. I like this. This is Buxton needed this. We needed this. I needed this. You definitely needed too. Thank you. All right, so you might be wondering where we are. Still in Buxton at Club Twilight. That's where we are. So Club Twilight also has like an Airbnb as well. So you could come, drink, drunk, and come back here and lie down. Look at that. Look at that. Perfection. And the people come in, I come in the room and so on. The bed sheet matching the blind, matching the carpet, matching the this, matching the that. We know but we things in Buxton don't play with we. So definitely if you want to come and you know you may be having a wedding or whatever and you just want to overnight and just have a good time because you're gonna be drunk. We got too much road accidents. So you definitely want to come drink, have a good time. They have several rooms that you can rent. You have your toilet, you have your bath, you have your sink, you have your dining area, you have the bed. This is nice. I like it. Anyways, to my friends and my family, if you're looking for me, I'll be overnighting. Also, for those persons who are traveling in from overseas, you want a nice, cozy place out of town, then Club Twilight, call them up, look them up on social media. They have their own Facebook page, and ensure that you come up the side and have a good time. Have a good time. Have a good time. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's it.
To Amsterdam, I think I only get 3 Polari. You see, when the function finish, right? The egg ball keep them people in it. Oh my goodness. And it's like, after we got a whole tub of sauce, it's like, let's have a little. Mr. Amsterdam, everything shine, shine, shine. I haven't gotten to taste anything because, like I said, I just eat 3 Polari. Everybody complimented the stuff. It was tasty. All of them munch down and come back and load up. Certain places you can go and get proper stuff, but uh, the sauce is more than enough. I appreciate the variety options.
At Lou's Kitchen, it's no idle boast. Call us for the best in Creole food. 653-3205. Lou's, the original Creole chef. You can get meat anywhere, but for the best cuts of chicken, beef, pork, mutton, and lots more, check out T and W Harris Butcher Shop located in the East Ramvelt Market Meat section. Call us on 609-7168, 641-4494. Ask for Rastaman. T and W Harris Butcher Shop for the best in fresh cut meats and lots more. Are you hosting an event? Do you need ice, party ice in large or small quantities? Then call us at 622-5933 for the best party ice available. $1,000 per bag. We do delivery. EC Crystals, Sideline Dam, Buxton North. Call to have your orders filled today. Hey, morning, hey, morning. Welcome to another program of Life Morning. It's 7 hours 22 on the 11th day of September in the year 2025. I am your host. How you been? How was it yesterday? How was your last night? How you feeling this morning? How optimistic you are that Ghana is a good place or Ghana is going to become a better place? How optimistic are you? What are your expectations from this new government? Well, old wine in new skin, they say. What do you expect from them? Do leopards change their stripes or spots? Which one? I wonder is which one the leopard get by. I must check for me. Check and win, and let me see what that is. Yes, how have you been? How was it yesterday? I see yesterday we closed the program talking, I think, mostly about what Starbuck News reported was going to be the parliamentary representation of the APNU. This morning I woke up to a headline that says Aubrey Norton bows out. Like I said to y'all before, editors are the gatekeepers of information, and they will determine what you know, how you know it, and when you know it. They will also put their personal spins on it because everybody has an agenda. Good? The media has an agenda setting role. And what does that mean? The media determines what people talk about in society. So in 2020, when they wanted to bash the Gwynge government, it was the media at the head. Every day was a negative headline. Every day was a negative headline. And when they wanted to support the wickedness of the PPP, every day was a positive headline for the PPP. So the question is, can the media really be trusted at face value? Can you just look at the headline and come to a conclusion? Right? That's the question. So here it is. Kaicho News is yesterday. Sabu News is saying this is what the parliamentary list would look like. Aubrey Norton is heading to parliament. Today, Kaicho is saying Aubrey Norton bows out. He's not going to parliament. It's likely that Dr. Terence Campbell, is going to be leading the APNU's charge in the National Assembly. But you know what I find interesting? Apart from the fact that I don't think they've gotten the list correct as yet. All of these newspapers that are speculating, I don't think they've gotten the list correct as yet. But what I find interesting is I don't hear anybody asking, where's that WPA name on the list? Starbuck News published a list yesterday. I didn't see a WPA name on it. Kaicho News published a list today. I didn't see a WPA name on it. So the question is, where's the WPA in all of this? Wasn't the WPA a partner in the APNU WPA coalition that contested this election? Didn't the WPA do a lot of heavy lifting for the past 5 years and during the electoral campaign? Shouldn't at least one name be featured on that list from the WPA? If you ask me, I think the WPA deserves 2 seats. And note, I usually say these are not WPA's official positions. I don't speak officially for the WPA. I think I told people that before. When the WPA has an official statement to make, it either uses a press conference or one of its co-leaders. Good. But from where I sit, I think WPA held it together for Aubrey Compton, Norton, and by extension, the coalition from 2020 on to now. Right? And we did a lot, I'm sure we did a lot of heavy lifting in the elections campaign. But in all of these utterances, I'm not hearing any WPA name featured. as going to Parliament. I wonder why. Is it that there is no seat for the Working People's Alliance? Or is it that the media doesn't care to put the Working People's Alliance in the psyche of Guyanese? Or is it that even the people who are, quote unquote, providing this usually reliable information to the media don't care to put the psyche of put the Working People's Alliance in the psyche of Guyanese? Those are just questions I'm asking, right? I don't know, I'm asking. And so if the powers that be are listening, maybe they can provide answers, because I definitely want to know. I definitely want to know. And I represent the populace, and so I know the populace definitely wants to know. Good. So let us look at that, let us monitor that, let us see how that will unfold. And I did say, and I'm saying it again, from where I said I believe the WPA deserves 2 seats. One of the let me tell you, so you understand my position quite frankly. I worked on the East Coast because I'm Buxtonian, and that's why Mark Benstrop called me on election and asked me what was happening in Buxton. But I was part of the East Coast campaigning committees. More specifically, I think they call it the Lower East Coast, some Melanie or somewhere, all the way back to Pleasance or somewhere, right? Good. I tell you how truthfully, I don't pay attention to certain things, you know. But I worked on the East Coast. And I was responsible for logistics, basically. Means that every meeting that had to be announced, I was responsible for that, or most of them, because some campaign leaders decided that they had other arrangements to announce their meetings and so on. Meetings that had to get sound systems set up, I was responsible for that. Speaking on platforms, coordinating certain efforts and so on. And I can tell you, if you were to check the results, you will see neither win nor the PPP won Buxton or had or, or had an easy time in Buxton. APNU, I would say, held its own in Buxton. And the question that has to be asked is, how did APNU hold its own in Buxton? Right? Buxton had, and I might come in for some flack here because I don't know if people, we got a lot of thin-skinned people in politics, let me just say that. Buxton had a well-oiled machinery. In terms of elections day. The last few days leading up to elections, I insisted that, hey, we got to go on the ground. We got to take this community, this locality by storm, if you want to call it. We got to walk the ground. We got to talk to people. We got to engage people. I said, throw up my sound system on the back of the canter, throw on a generator there. We gone through the community, blasting APNU songs, blasting APNU messages, talking to people, and so on and so forth. And I dare say it paid off. I dare say it paid off because, again, I'm saying, when neither the PPP didn't have an easy time in Buxton.
APNU came out miles ahead of the others in Buxton. Good. And for that alone, I think we deserve a seat. Because it's not only Buxton we held together, we did our work, but throughout the East Coast, wherever the opportunity presented itself, we did our work. And then for our national effort, again, nationally, we contributed and we did. Dr. Hines was on several platforms and so on and so forth. The messages were well received and so on and so forth. So give me two, no, man. Give me two, no. I see Dennis Champagne said, no, only 1 year I can get is only 12. But my position, if you got 12 and you give me 2, you got 10. Do what you want with it. What happened? Good? That's only my position. I don't know what I don't know what the party's position is. That's my position. And I always come here and I tell you what my position is. I came and I told y'all, for me, the slate should have been Aubrey Norton, David Hines as president and prime ministerial candidates, Ganesh Maipal and Joretta Fernandez as vice presidents or vice presidential candidates. I said that before we went with the Joretta Fernandez formula. Good. So I am accustomed giving you my opinion freely. And Uvex. Right. Uvex. I don't got no qualms about that. Good. So I'm telling you about this well-oiled machinery. As I'm making my case, right? So we had a well-oiled machinery in Buxton. Our people were fed on time. People were transported to the polling places on time. Most of our agents, if not all of our agents, were able to vote by leaving their polling places and going to their places of their district where they had to vote. They had relief, as we call them. They were relieved, so they had to go and vote and so on. Right? Good. I operated, I would say, across boundary because I was tasked with some supervisory work in Monrepo. I have 13 stations to supervise in Monrepo. And again, I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder for doing a darn good job. Because most of my agents over there were able to vote. I think 7 except 2 or 3 of them. Good. Ballot boxes were accompanied to the from the polling place to the storage place at Better Hope. Good. So when I say I know the work that we did, I know the work that we did. And I know the constraints under which we did those, did that job. I'm not here to discuss the constraints. I'm here to discuss the positives, what we did that makes me believe, we could get 2 seats. We deserve 2 seats. It's not out of greed. It's out of recognition. But like I said, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Because Aubrey has a humongous task of dividing 12 among the multitude. He ain't quite seeing, 5 bread or 3 bread and 5 fishes, whatever it is. He can't do that. So at the end of the day, I respect whatever decisions are made. But I'm not going to stand for WPA not having any seat. As people seem to be suggesting, WPA naming featuring anywhere and so on and so forth. If WPA let me deal with Corinne Ben and Dr. Hines' statement that in today's political culture, it was not feasible for 2 Afro-Guyanese men to be at the top of APNU's ticket. You see me? I have a former employee who used to look at me and say, Bano, you confidently ignorant, you know. You full of confidence, ignorance. Because you are so confident in yourself that sometimes you don't care what you say. You don't care what you say. Right? And it's not that I don't care what I say. I got so much self-esteem. I got so much self-belief. I got so much love for self. And that extends to love for my people. That I believe in me and I believe in my people. And nobody can come and tell me otherwise. I have all the respect in the world for Dr. Hines. But you don't come and tell me that in this political dispensation, 2 Afro-Guyanese men can't do it. Don't tell me that. Mark Phillips is part of the PPP leadership team, so-called campaign. As a matter of fact, he is the prime ministerial candidate. How much of Mark Phillips you saw? How much of Mark Phillips did you see? The face of the PPP's electoral campaign, or faces if I dare say, was Jagdeo, Ali, Nandalal, and the rest of Indo-Guyanese. Somebody noted on social media, maybe on this very program not so long ago, that they noticed that when the PPP was going into certain areas, even the crossover Afro-Guyanese, as they call themselves, the proud of slaves, as Anil called them, were not present. They were not allowed to accompany them. Somebody also observed that when the crossovers, the proud of slaves, were out there campaigning, distributing Mirror or whatever the newspaper, etc., they were doing it among themselves or by themselves. They think I know Guyanese with them. So you don't come and tell me, I mean, Dr. Hines said it, but you don't come and tell me because I don't agree with it, that them 2 black brothers couldn't pull it together. And old people say 9 and no ask 10. Old people say 9 and no ask 10 because 10 knows or is likely to know. And my position on what the slate should have been ain't got nothing to do with disrespect for anybody or wanting to leave out anybody's ethnicity or wanting to leave out any ethnic group from around the table. No. My recommendations were, and they still are, grounded in the reality of this dear land that we call Guyana. The only people calling for unity in this country is black people. The only people acting for unity in this country is black people. The only people acting against themselves in this country because of this quest for inclusivity is black people. And until we come to the point of recognizing that, we got many more disappointments to get. Many more disappointments to get. Look at the Win Party that has arguably replaced the APNU as the major opposition in parliament. It's a set of black people with an Indian face. It's a set of black people with an Indian face. The majority of them is black people. The minority, which comprises the leadership, are Indo-Guyanese. So if them black people could come together and do it for Win, They couldn't come together and do it for AP and you led by two of your own. I'm buying that. I'm buying that. If you give me the opportunity tomorrow to put together a slate for an election that is to be held on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, I will tell you exactly that. The only way to consolidate the votes of the African man in this country is to put two Africans at the top of the list. I'm going to remind you that this thing about Afro and Indo combination for president and prime minister started out with the PPP. In the first place, let me explain this to you. The constitution of this country doesn't require you to name a prime ministerial candidate. And that's why Azudin could wait until the very last moment to say, well, Tabitha Sarbo Ali will be my prime ministerial candidate. Very last rally held. Constitution doesn't require that. Alex, Neil, I need to drink some water. Yeah. Constitution doesn't require you to name a prime ministerial candidate. Right? Let's keep that in mind. All it requires is a presidential candidate. And Jagan or the PPP started naming a prime ministerial candidate because they wanted to catfish black people to support them. Because a presidential candidate will forever be an Indo-Guyanese. And if they recognize that their numbers alone can't carry them over the threshold, the numbers alone can't carry them over the threshold. They had to attract numbers from other places. And they came up with this brilliant idea. Let me put a token black man there. Sam Hines, to start with. And then everybody started adopting this attitude of the token black man, the token Indian. The PPP knows their ideology, and that is why when Moses Nagumotu was named as prime ministerial candidate to David Granger, they jump high and they jump low, and they cost Moses Nagumotu from the low-lying plains right up to Mount Roraima top. And told him he's token. He had no authority. He would not be given any power, just the window dressing. Because that is what they do to the Afro-Guyanese as prime ministerial candidates in their party. But history will show that Moses Nagumotu had very meaningful roles in the coalition government. But this is not what we're talking about. We're talking about this concept that you gotta get a black Indian or some other combination that is not black to win election in this country. Only, I don't want to say, again, I don't want to be disrespectful or be interpreted as being disrespectful. Only shallow minds will think that. Only weak hearts, weak minds will think that. Because those who are strong-willed as I am will be prepared to work to make it happen. And that is why I can always propose it, because I am always willing to work to make it happen. Me sitting back and believe anything will fall in place naturally. I am prepared to work to put it in place. And y'all gotta understand the mentality that I got. And if you believe I'm talking foolishness when I talk about the PPP doing this in order to, as I want to say, catfish black people. If the PPP were genuine in wanting black people African Guyanese in their leadership. Why is it when Chedi Jagan dead, Sam Hines had to step down? Because the Constitution says this. The Constitution says this. If the president dies or the president demits office for whatever reason, automatically the prime minister fills that void. The prime minister becomes president. So when Chedi died, Sam Hines automatically became president. But was made to resign, y'all remember? Was made to resign for Janet Jagan to become the president because Janet said, Papa Chedi said she must take over. Janet said, if you're in straight, you can't run this country. That's my interpretation. And then when Janet couldn't stand the heat in the kitchen, she decided that she gonna put the young upstart Jagdio to run things. And since Boy Bauji said Jagdio must run things, she gonna resign. And the Constitution says once she resigns, Sam Hines becomes the president. And then he will swear in Barrett Jagdio as prime minister, then he will resign. So Jagdio automatically became president. And then he will swear in Sam Hines as prime minister. And that, in my mind, exposed Sam Hines to all the jackass he is. Hey, that had to kill me. Am I too black to be president of the nation that my ancestors shed blood, sweat, and tears to build? Am I a lesser human being? Am I a lesser Guyanese citizen than any of y'all? Answer me. So are we lesser Guyanese citizens than anybody that we can't stand a fair chance of being president and prime minister at the same time? If among us we have Afro-Guyanese who can be president, and we have Afro-Guyanese who are more attractive than anybody else who can be prime minister, they must swallow their pride and put somebody who's less attractive because they are not Africans. Yeah, you man, welcome to another program of Guyanese Morning Time. I am your host, Kiraki Amsterdam. How was you yesterday? How was you last night? How are you feeling this morning? What are your plans for today? It's Friday, and it's Free Talk Friday. The weekend has started. The weekend started since Wednesday, as far as I'm concerned. So the question is, what are your weekend plans? Planning to make some extra money and so on and so forth? You're planning to sit with the family and talk about the election, which is in its stages of completion. It's the stages of completion because up until now, we know for a fact. I wonder when Parliament is convening. What does the law say about convening a Parliament? How long after the election should Parliament convene? I can't remember. Is it a month, 2 months, 3 months? I don't know, but I guess now that the parties, according to Kaicho News and so on, is finalizing or have finalized the list, people are looking ahead to the convening of Parliament. The National Assembly, let me call it by its right name. Because the reality is, and I say let me call it by its right name, because we believe There are a lot of people using the name Parliament and the National Assembly interchangeably. But for education purposes, the National Assembly is when the parliamentary representatives are sitting in the presence of the speaker and so on and so on when the house is, let's say, in order and etc. etc. That's the National Assembly, but Parliament is when the president sits in the House of the National Assembly. Right? So anytime you see the president goes to the National Assembly to address the National Assembly, Parliament is in session. Good? Good. So I'm told by AI is my friend now, you know, that it is the president who determines the first date or the date for the first sitting of the National Assembly after the election, right? The Constitution does not specify an exact time frame, but the president is expected to issue a proclamation to appoint that day and time. And so the parliamentary term officially starts on the first sitting. That is what I'm told, according to my friend. Good. So we have to wait on the president to make that proclamation, who perhaps has to wait on his handlers to give him permission to make that proclamation. Good. When Parliament convenes, the first order of business is for the Assembly to elect a Speaker and then a Deputy Speaker. Okay, good. So we're looking forward to the first sitting of Parliament where they will elect a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker. So what are your plans for this weekend? What are you going to be doing with the time this weekend? Dennis Champagne, we're going to have just now. It's Free Talk Friday, so my intention is not to talk too much on my own, but to allow you to speak, give you the opportunity to speak. And one of the things I want you to address, well, am I preempting it? There's a list out there. This morning I saw an article. Kaicho News? I think Kaicho. Hines walks into Parliament or marches into Parliament. What's it? What's the headline? I will tell you. I know it says Odessa Primus is not eyeing a seat in Parliament or something like that. Or she's uncertain about whether or not she will take up an MP post for win. Because according to them, she says where she sees herself in the future might not align with being an MP. Right? Something to that extent. Yes, David Hines marches into Parliament. If you read that story, you're going to see a number of names. Right? You're going to see a number of names profiled as to who the parliamentarians would be. Sources within the APNU told Kaicho News that those who will make up APNU's parliamentary team, in addition to Hines and Campbell, are Jaretta Fernandes, Janish Maipol, Lyndon Mayer, Sharma Solomon, Coretta McDonald, Nimafu Bess, Vince Roy Jordan, and newcomers Saiku Andrews, attorney Dexter Todd, and Riaz Rupnarine, along with Sherrod Duncan. Right? So let me repeat that list to you in case you didn't hear it. Sources within APNU told Kaicho News that those who will make up APNU's parliamentary team, in addition to Hines and Campbell, are Jaretta Fernandes, Ganesh Maipol, Lyndon Mayer, Sharma Solomon, Coretta McDonald, Nemo Flu Bess, Vince Roy Jordan, and newcomers Saiku Andrews, attorney Dexter Todd, and Riaz Rupnarine, along with Sherrod Duncan. Good. So one of the things I will permit you to comment on is that list. But I want to ask you straight up, be respectful, please. Please be respectful when you're commenting on that list. I remember us playing a voice note early in the week. I didn't respond to that voice note, which was asking if it is possible. If it is possible for the APNU to allow its supporters to determine who goes to parliament, in terms of providing a list of possible study supporters and let the supporters perhaps vote on it. I didn't respond to that voice note because I think it is one of the strangest requests, if you ask me. I don't think that happens anywhere around the world. You put your trust in the party, you put your trust in the party leadership, you put your trust in the leader of the list to make the best possible decision. When those decisions are made, there's nothing stopping you from commenting on them. Right? Your comment could be in support, it could be in rejection, but nothing stops you from commenting on them. And so this morning, I am going to give you that opportunity to comment on the list and your opinions and how the new parliamentarians should operate in the National Assembly, members of parliament should operate in the National Assembly, and so on. How do you think this small group of 12 can impact governance in this country? What are your opinions on whether or not they should join forces with the parliamentarians and win in terms of holding this government accountable? Do you believe that the opposition parliamentarians, both WIN and APNU combined, should cooperate with this government in any way? I don't think the government, quite frankly, needs their cooperation because the government has a 7-seat majority. But who knows? Out of being magnanimous, out of a show of inclusivity, out of the desire perhaps to sell Guyana as a democracy, the government might very well reach across the aisle and ask for them to work on certain issues and things together. What are your opinions? Right? What do you feel about that? It is 10 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour, and the lines are open. I'm opening up the lines right now so you can have your say. All I'm saying is be respectful. Good. And while we await that, await your calls, let me say to Denise, Champagne, I think she says I'm being contradictory when I say that the PPP, let me read, let me throw it up for you, man. Your logic are contradictory. PPP created a black police slate and it worked. Hines and Phillips allow themselves to be politically castrated is totally on them. On the other hand, the coalition having Moses as our PM candidate, we benefited from his constituents and allowed him to exercise his PM powers. For any of the major parties to win, they have to put up a slate that represents the people as close as possible. Good. That's the opinion of Champagne Collison. And as I'm reading that, I ask myself, Callie on, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. I want to comment on this potential list. And if that is indeed the names that are going to Parliament, I am happy. I am happy. With regards to the WPA representative, it was yours to decide who would have been the chosen one. What seat for WPA? You, Dr. Hines, or Leland Saul? You guys choose. And if Dr. Hines has been the chosen one, I am happy. If it were you, I would have been happy. If it was Leland Saul, I would have been just as happy. Thank you for taking my call. I am happy. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. And let me say, I don't know how it is. This caller is associating Leland Saul with the WPA. Leland Saul is not a WPA member, at least not from what I am aware of. So please get your facts correct. Okay? Stop giving people what they don't own or what perhaps they would not like to own. Stop associating Leland Saul with the WPA because Leland Saul is not a member of the WPA and has never been a member of the WPA. As a matter of fact, Is it Leland you're saying or Leon? Because I think the person you might be talking about is Leon Saul. Leon Saul is the spoiler. Is the spoiler you're talking about? The spoiler is actually the leader of the legalized cannabis now. Right? Legalized cannabis now, if that's the correct name of the party. That is Leon Saul. So he's not a member of the WP. Call Leon. Speak.
Yeah, good morning again, everybody. You know, people talking about this different slates to win this election. And the only slate that could win an election is the entire, the whole GCOM to be changed. Because as long as GCOM remains the same GCOM with the same set of workers and all the things them and I think that follow us to go over to GCOM, it's gonna be the same scenario. GCOM is a body that is there to destroy all Africans, everything pertaining to black people. GCOM is there to destroy. And GCOM got that power. And you know where's the power? Don't matter what you do running up to election. You walk all over. Apnu walk door to door, hit on all the doors all over this country. And there is it. When we went to the polls, look what happened. And I feel that if Apnu is to join forces with the other opposition, that is a recipe for complete death and annihilation of Apnu. Because we know sometimes when I listen to Paul Slow and Mr. Conway, they talk, I think it's I can't remember the name of the person, but they spoke about this person who had influence on the police. And we saw quite clearly Christmas Eves ago, when police were lined up in full uniform. They didn't even go in house clothes. They were in full uniform and they went to collect their Christmas baskets from the win team. And if I got control of the police force, because I could give them whatever I give them Christmas Eve day, the police force will not work for me. And we all know the type of person that team is associated with. So if Apnu want to go into the parliament and then because of whatsoever join win, that is where Guyana is going to become a one Guyana state, because the PPP is going to monopolize win. And when they finish doing what they got to do to win, and then you might say, let me join win, all of a sudden you will be catapulted with the biggest tsunami under the PPP wedge. So I hope that Apnu could stand aloof. And the next thing, before any other election, go into an election, Apnu have got to make certain that GCOM changes. Now we got two stalwarts from Apnu because of what was done to them at the general and regional elections, have decided to walk away, crestfallen, and all the bright attributes of a strong African man has been taken away, bringing them down like what Massa used to do to us as slaves when we try to stand up against the system of Massa's injustice. GCOM is the new Massa. And unless we make up our minds to get rid of GCOM as it is, God help every African or every other race in Guyana that the PPP feel that must not attempt to be rulers of these 6 races in Guyana. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call. And I wish we would keep it as concise as that. Remember, we are operating on a shortened program time. We have reduced the program time by 1 hour. And so you need to adjust your timings also in terms of the length of time you stay on the line. So thank you, Rondo. Yes, I was saying that Saul is not a double P. Where is Leon or Leland? Leon is the spoiler. Leon heads the legalized cannabis now. And Leland Saul is the city councilor. None of them are double P. None is. Yes. Call you live. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr.
Hold for me, please. Hold 1 minute. Caller, kindly mute and hold your line.
Hello?
Kindly mute and hold the line.
Okay.
Call on the phone, you can proceed. Not the one I just told to mute.
Yeah, Mr. Good morning. Yes. First of all, I want to say that people talking now all matter things. First of all, them who want to come to vote election, they have for them turn out to vote. How you want to win an election when you just sit down and have back to the country, questions, the country this, the country that, and you're hollering your ball and all matter things. But still, yes, when it's rally, everybody showing up, big crowds and all that matter things. But yes, when it's election day, you know, nobody coming out to put a vote for where they belong. Look, the turnout they had, and let's turn out in this election from, you know. Secondly, the opposition should hold this become responsible for this election because we all know from ever long, since the Dragon time or whenever time, Jicom was never independent and it will never be independent because looking local, Wulu time, looking towards Bali, all those things were shared rigging left, right, and center. And look, they have this wicked one with it. When they end up the thing, she embeds the PPP. There's no commitment or no thing with decent in this woman. This woman so wicked that, you know, she put in this country at stake and at risk. She don't care what she do because all she concerned is that she collects the wrong paper bag or we take the and the hell was the nation. She knows she put back the PPP in there and that was it. Look, these people who vote come on well talking that people come into this country and vote. You could imagine this madness going on in this country. Huh? Look, you could go in other countries and do them nonsense. You could go in other countries and vote and do them nonsense what this country encourages. But I want people to know that let it continue because there's the things going on in a lot of other countries. When people say enough is enough, when they're playing the dictators and they want to control and dominate the people and just taking and keeping the resources and pulling the friends and family back. When the people come out and say, well, enough is enough, that's it. You know, these people dictate and the thing and the opposition should stand up to Chicom. That's why the woman they want to buy metric and clear voters because she already know what she did. She already compromised with the PPP. Look, the Commonwealth, all the international people come out right there. What a shame. They said Chicom needs to get it up together and think because since 2020 this woman is there and this woman do nothing to Chicom change the system, nothing at all, just pay and forward to wreck for the PPP. And that's what she continues to do. And people need to wake up and get conscious. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your call. Yes, thank you for your call. Did you notice that Forward Guyana movement had two Afro-Guyanese as the leader of this state? Or am I misguided? Was it Amanza, Walton, Desir, and London? Apostle London. I was trying to remember his first name that he prefers to be called by. Call it on. Good morning.
Hello? Good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Thank God for Friday. Thank God we're still alive. A quitter is not a winner, my black brother and sister over there. And a winner is not a quitter. And let me apologize, be a man and apologize to one of my fans, one of my supporters. I said yesterday, Flash, what happened to you? You forget to mention to you, good morning to you and all my black brother and sister. We custom hearing those words from you, Flash. My brother, I apologize. I am a man with dignity. I am a man that will never sell out my dignity and my identity and pressure my black brother. Thank you for that, to remind Flash Garden. Randall, come in front of the class. I give you 100%. You could not say it more better than that, Randall. Why we must merge with Win? Let Win demonstrate the words opposition leader. Let it demonstrate what it would cost. Let its voters, black voters, see if he have the interest when Parliament open. And I am looking to see if the man with 19 charge gonna lock Win opposition leader out of Parliament like what they did to our opposition leader a couple years ago. Something come to my attention. I never see Win. Let me call it Mohammed. After the black people give him victory to rule them, not me and the family. I never see he put on one African shirt or an African gong and said to my people, them, I thank you. But what I observe day and day, he put on his Muslim gong and the top with black shades and moving around. Black people, before I go, let me remind you what my grandmother teach me. She said, my grandson, stay with who you know than to go with somebody who you don't know. She said, I will not give up my bad one for nobody good one. She said again, who sing for me, I will rock for them. Let me be careful. Don't do not what the Democrats did to Biden. That's why the bombs raised towards Biden. And you see the result, what Democrats get today. You guys have a lovely weekend. Flash Garden coming again Monday, bigger and better than today. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you for your call, Flash. Have a wonderful weekend yourself. It is now 5 minutes past 8 o'clock. We got about 55 minutes to continue these conversations. Let's play our first voice note.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. According to the list, the names that you give, I am happy for those persons that would go to represent half of the population in Guyana. What I think should happen is, I don't know if they would have like term limits, one set of people go in the assembly for a certain time and then you switch, another set take over. I don't know if that's the way it works. But concerning the speaker, I don't think the speaker that was there should be there. He is too biased, and you can see it. He is too biased. And the deputy speaker, I only hope that deputy speaker can be fair too, because looking at the last parliament that they had, it was atrocious watching Nazir. Looking at him, it was very, very biased, especially when the coalition is trying to make the presentation. So concerning the list, Mr. Amsterdam, I would like to see you there to represent your people. But for now, to me, those names that you call, I'm happy and comfortable with it. Guyanese, you guys have to work together to make Guyana a better place for all. That is my take for today. Bye.
Thank you for your call. And let me say in response to this call in particular, about a call who says she would like to see me in Parliament. A lot of people have been saying that as a lot. Listen, the devil is always in the works. Let me make it clear. The devil is always in the works. I see a lot. Well, not I see. I've heard of a lot of people I've been putting all kinds of spins to my discussion this week with regard to parliament and parliamentary representation and so on and so forth. I don't desire to say too much more about it. But the one thing I'll say to you is that Professor David Hines is representing the Working People's Alliance in the National Assembly from the first sitting, and he will get my every support. He will get my every support. I believe, like I've said, that Afro-Guyanese need strong organizations to represent their interests, and I intend to not only continue to do political work. Caller, hold the line on mute, please. Mute, please. I'll talk with you shortly. Not only will I continue to do political work, but I also am going to spend a lot of my energies trying to bring that economic empowerment to African Guyanese, like I said on my earlier programs, that what African Guyanese need is economic empowerment. And as long as I have breath, I will dedicate at least some of my energies in that direction. Good. So y'all don't think I disappeared off the scene because Dr. Hines has gone to Parliament. I don't think that, I can duck and run for cover and so on and cuss up and broke up WP and so on and so forth. My loyalty will remain with WP. I will support the work of Dr. Hines in Parliament, and I will also continue to support the work and represent my people in this society. Call it on.
Hi, Kadaki. Kadaki, the PNC lost more than half of the seat because of these same kind of things that going on your program, right? This is a part of it. Now, Kadaki, you on this program call the presidents. I- is it benefiting the PNC? You think in any way?
Caller, I am entitled to my. Oh, the caller's ended the call. Let me say this. I'm entitled to my opinion of the president. And I will maintain that I think the president is a dunce. It's the worst president we have ever had in this country. Academically, morally, ethically, is the worst president. The only person he competing with for those titles of being worse is by Jagio. And they're from the same team. Where else in the world have you seen a president who cannot identify the university that he attended? Where else? Listen, the last occupation I see the man stated at GCOM is that he's an economist. But he has said to this world that he has his doctorate in urban development. And he said he had his first degree from a university in IFLOC. We know no university is in IFLOC. So if he ain't done, I'll tell me who he is. Up until this day, he cannot call simple words. Listen to when he was taking the oath. I think it was allegiance he couldn't pronounce. So what you are telling me really? He's a dunce. And like somebody is saying, he's an arrogant dunce. Call it on.
Morning, Morning, Kadaki. I'm glad you preempt what I was about to say to that caller. You told you arrogant, stupid dunce. You tell me which doctorate or which person that has a doctorate you can't find a thesis nowhere. Tell me now. Let the caller tell me, right? It's only a fake. He get his degree from some goddamn certificate mill in India because they're known for that, producing certificates, certificate mill. If you look at programs like immigration programs coming out to Australia and England, you will see even Canada catch on to them with their certificate mills. And let me stretch it a little better, a little more. He talked about calling names. When black people call certain names on your show or on the internet and what's not, the ERC draw them up. When Indian people cuss out about what they're going to do with black people, look at that look at the Indian boy after election. What he said that black people are rapists, we murderers, we this, and the funny thing is, these people always got a disclaimer before they enter into the racist run to say that look, they're not racist. And all the nasty things that's been said against black people by their supporters, they have never ever one day come out here to condemn it. Never condemn it. So we're going to continue to call them presidents and call them the bin seed and the deadfall and everything we're going to continue to call them until they set example. Then is when we're going to move forward. Look at the idiot the other day with Travis Chase. Travis simply said this is not a confrontation, but he ready to fight. He ready to fight. You understand? That is, tell me which leader behaves like that. He's a dunce. Simple and straight. I'm out.
Thank you for your call. You know, people come here and they say all kinds of things. And I allow people to say it because that's your opinion. The one thing I would say, I don't come and cuss you because they're going to kick you all off the program. You come with your personal attacks, it don't bother me. Right? And so I too am entitled to my opinion. And call you on, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Karaki, and good morning to all our listeners. Now, I don't know why this myth, this PPP myth about racism, right? I think it is catching people, it's getting on to people and messing with their psyche. Black people I'm talking about. Because when Ravidev talk about his race, right? They say he's a nationalist, Indian nationalist. That's the name they give him. But when we talk about our race, about the machinations of the PPP against our race, they say we racial. You know, they take their own talk on the bottom house. They go on the bottom house and in the communities and they talk about their race and what they should do about the Indian race and all of that, right? But the problem with us, I think we talk about our race online on the social media, and so they say we are racial. I want people to understand, the young people, because this is a thing that's make us now don't want to say call a spade a spade. Because if you do that, they're gonna say you're racial. I want young people to understand racism cannot be racism unless it's power plus prejudice. You could be prejudiced against people, but as long as you don't have the power to demonstrate that prejudice against people, it's not racism, right? So don't make them full up your head and soften your mind that they could mash on you, and so you gonna stay quiet and say, if black people were racial, right? We wanna go. So much people wanna go up and join WIM, despite the money that they give them to go there because they impoverish the country, the PPP. So people now just people literally need a dollar to live. And so who have the money they go across. But apart from that, they would have people who would have be diehard and who would not take that money because they know in the long term that this is not going to work out good for them. You know, we are yet to see what the women is going to do. We are yet to see what the women going to do. You know, give them a fair run to see what they will do. You know, but let us stop believing this thing that when you talk about the suffering of your people is racism. That is not no damn racism. It's damn suffering. It's suffering of your people. And you got to talk. You got to open people's eyes about it. You understand? So that is what I want to say. And another thing, let me say this on the other side, right? The PPP, they rigged the election, right? So don't blame yourself, people. Don't beat up on each other and all of that. I know they rigged the election. I heard from good source. I happened to travel down in a vehicle where a man was driving, and he have close contact to some Barajak, they close contact. And he said that Barat say they rigged the election. You understand? That is why I heard. It's alleged or whatever you want to call it. But they say they rigged the election. And they do these things, and it left at a stage now to say, like, I do what I do. Come and catch me. Because I got a judge, if you want to go to court, I got G come to do the machinations over there. And I did mines when I get the ballot box, and I tamper with all of them and take out what I want to take out, because that was the only tell true what left when you say rig. So we finger with all of them boxes and all of that. So people, don't beat up on yourself. We got to regroup and come again. All right. Thank you for allowing me this time, Kadaki, and everyone have a good weekend. Bye.
Morning, neighbor, morning. Blessed love the people, blessed love fighters. Let we continue the struggle. Let we continue. We dust with time, we dust we self off, and let we move forward, strategize, and let we hold one head and push forward. On the reasoning, brother Kadaki, well, the brother just talk about racism and them kind of thing. I want to echo the same sentiment. Black people have to understand that the thing is a whole setup. Is a whole setup, and the thing catch on to a lot of black people with whole back and want to do this here so because they don't say racism and this and that and them kind of thing. And these people are preaching it to them people, reminding them, plus some of them will go on serious prosecution in them neighborhood. If the only dare, just saving some Indian brothers and sisters that they could speak out now and then kind of thing. Social media. Social media. But the grip what PvP got on them is that they dare for walk anywhere and anywhere wrong when you see certain time come wrong with them and supporting and them kind it's problem when we see brother that when enough man come out, enough Indian brothers come out and speak their mind and next day have to come back there and apologize. And black people, all the black brothers and sisters, them in the PPP there, it's not no PPP members and supporters and these PPP employees. The things were happening to the black people and the silence of the black brothers and sisters in the PPP. They face silence. And when they go for talk, is when they got to condemn their own. This is good them and be loved resided because they got to toe the line. Since James Bond them come on, all they do is just bash just what raise them. Because this is what they got to do, and this is the consciousness we got to get. Just as the brother said, black people stop bothering these people talking about racism and this and that, them kind of thing, because they're teaching them wonder. And we teaching we on is not to attack Indian brothers and sisters or Amerindian brothers and sisters or feel more than nobody. It's just everybody want to be on the level playing field, and we know that the playing field is not level. And this the wickedness and the cries of black people on the shoulders of all the black brothers and sisters them within the same PPP. The other way around though, it never happen. They never allow to happen in PNC, as bad as they might be. Yeah, them kind of dictatorial kind of liberty that don't go on and then going on there. You could speak your mind, brother. Who brought in the right tag that? And tell you the comfort an Indian brother and sister got when in the PNC that they could speak the mind of black brother and sister dare not cross that line in PPP. And this is where we got the problem. Because those are the set. We're making it feel like we're the bad ones where we got to speak out for everybody. But they gonna cause people to build mind and go and speak the mind and them kind of thing and don't go shoot you down. Because people not gonna take it so because you see this government will go under this opposition and them kind of thing. But people better open we eye. You better open we eye if not for short Armenian brothers and sisters them on, neither Indian brothers and sisters them on. Not forget no power more than nobody. You better open we eye and stop to let these banners swallowing we up. Pay yourself a little money and them kind of thing, and we community the worst. Like people, like people. You know you're still there. You thought you gonna do something, but look at you. Blessed love, brother. We gonna ride. We gonna ride, my brother. I'm telling you, this thing serious. We gonna ride. Blessed love, people. Blessed love all races. Blessed love every conscious minded people who understand this vibes. Thank you.
The lines remain open. 6025933 is the number to call. We have a voice note.
Money Body Kidaki, money viewers. Body Kidaki, that list that I hear this morning. Body Kidaki, big up to that list. Big up to Mr. Norton to put together that list, that team that will be heading into Parliament. Big up, big up, big up, big up. And Mr. Norton, I take my cap off to you for what you have done. Mr. Norton, big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. But now you get to control the party more better. Now you can get the opportunity to move around to different communities and see exactly what is going on. Big up, big up, big up, Mr. Norton. Yes, you show yourself as a leader, as a real leader. You understand me? You understand me? And your kudos to the team that you put together there to shake up the PPP in Parliament along with Wim. Because that team that Wim got here is from the opposition. So they wouldn't bring nothing tangible, I think, to the table. Same old story, you understand me? Weak vessel, you understand me? Share weaklings. Anyhow, Brother Kidaki and viewers, I think that the opposition, the parties them that will be facing the installed PPP government back in Parliament, I think that they shouldn't be wasting time with them in Parliament because, you know, everything is going to be going in their favor. I think they should be walking out of Parliament as what the installed Vice President used to do when they was in opposition. I think they should give them a run for their money in Parliament. Let them talk to themselves every time that they bring forward any bill that, you know, that we Guyanese people wouldn't support, you know, man. You understand me? I think that should be one of the most best time for us right now. As long as Mr. Norton done what he done there, and the team that is true, the team that you bring forward there is true. I think that that we will get there. We will get there as soon as we can. You understand me? So big up back once again to the PNC and the opposition and the APNU, so to speak. And your viewers, I'll enjoy the rest of your day. They watch and see what is going on. Big up, big up, big up, big up to the opposition. The APNU, big up, big up, big up, big up. Shama Sullivan, I tell you, the time is up for being Parliament. I told you up later. So kudos to you. Sorry, I didn't hear Mr. Paul Williams' name on that list. Anyway, Mr. Paul Williams, kudos to you. The time is.
Caller, unmute and speak, please. You're on.
Hey, good morning. I'm just calling to let you know these nurses that they take on at the new hospital that they have built. 3 months now, these nurses haven't received a salary, and it's very terrible. All these people surviving. Just call to.
All right, thank you. If you're done.
Okay. Yeah.
So the caller is raising a concern about nurses hired at the new hospital and not being paid for 3 months. That is what you call successful government. Yeah, was it? That is successful governance. Because as far as I remember, when the APNU was in office, Tabitha Sarbo Hali was Minister of Public Service. Call and mute your line and hold, please.
Hi, my friend. Morning. What's going on?
Mute and hold, please. Did you call for the program or is it a private call?
No. Sorry.
I'll call you back. Yes. We had put in place a system where people didn't have to wait for 3 months to be paid. Circulars, as they call it, were sent out, demanding a change to that situation. Or people waiting 3 months to be paid. But like it is evident, as soon as the PPP went into office, they disregarded that and they went back to the 3 months. You gotta go to work for 3 months without being paid. People seek employment because they want to earn. How do you expect me to work? How do you expect me to go to work? How do you expect me to pay bills? How do you expect me to feed myself and maybe those I am responsible for? How do you expect me to get transportation to go to work if you don't pay me for 3 months? That is a very good government, a very successful government. Because I see somebody say Ali is a very successful president. And I will repeat, I consider Ali nothing but a common dunce. I don't see any success on the name of Irfan Ali. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry I threw away the pamphlet, because they had a pamphlet that they were sharing to promote the achievements of Irfan Ali as president. And even the language on the pamphlet pointed to his dunceness. Or the whole of them, whoever prepared the pamphlet pointed to the dunceness. And if you were to take that pamphlet and examine it, Irfan Ali is responsible for Ghana being the fastest growing economy in the world. Nonsense. Irfan Ali is responsible for the poverty. The poverty that Guyanese people are faced with. Because the money that comes from oil is not because of Irfan Ali. The money that comes from oil is because of a deal that was signed by the state of Ghana. I think it was Janet was president at the time. Production of oil, production sharing agreement and so on was signed under the APNU. The PPP got into office when the oil started pumping. And if Irfan Ali was a smart man, a wise man, a brilliant man, even an educated man, he would have used the income from oil to expand the economy of this country. Have you seen any expansion in the economy of this country? The only thing this government does, the PPP has done so far, is build a few wafer thin roads. Look, one of them, a big truck passed through, I think Dennis Street, Campbellville yesterday, and got stuck because of the poor quality of the road. When you do something and you got to disown it, you know it ain't good for nothing. The Heroes Highway that Rubio called a concussion highway, they disown it. They blame it on the APNU. So y'all tell me where the success there. I am saying it again. I'm saying it again, and I will continue to say it. If I had, as a government, as a president, access to the kind of resources that Ali and the rest of thieves on the PPP have, there would have been no reason for opposition parties. Even the opposition parties would have been singing my praises, because I would have used it to lift people out of poverty. I would have used it to ensure that every Guyanese had a good day in the sun. And not a small clique of us. Not a small clique of us. Where is the success? You're successful because within 2 or 3 years of becoming a minister of housing to be specific, you were able to rob a nation-old plantation. Buy public property at peppercorn rates. That makes you successful. It makes you a friggin' crook. You're successful when your government is able to deliver to the people. And your nation is a progressive one. In some countries, there's a happiness index. Check the happiness index of Guyana under the PPP and also under Irfan Ali, and tell me that he is successful. Successful when despair in this nation is on the rise. Lines remain open. I got more voice notes. Let me play them. I'm going to continue playing my voice notes. I'm going to continue saying what I want to say. Y'all could continue being hurt. None of my business if you're hurt. It's your business, not me own. It's bright your bright, make you lose. You know, the sportsman or some sportsmen will tell you that is not winning or losing. It's how you play the game. Why do you think cricketers get fined exorbitant sums from the match fees for unsportsmanlike behavior? That's what the PPP are accustomed to, unsportsmanlike behavior. Call you on. Good morning.
Greetings to you, big brother. Greetings to you. Greetings to Guyana. First thing, must congratulate the team that put together, even though we know that they're not the majority in that position. I know they have the capability of putting up a fight. And I just trust that the rest who they're out keep supporting the rest of the inside. And we got to understand that even though things ain't going in our favor, don't let we give up. And we got to realize that according to what people say, money talk and bullshit work. If APNU had the money like them and shoving money down people's throat, it would be a ding dong battle. But I get people right now personally and tell me, hey, me got time with the buy, looking after me needs now, yeah, me got time with them. I have to tell them, I say, you people you got your needs all the time, you know. I said, each got his once, you know. You might have 1,000, 60,000 if you big buy. Hold on, I last, I got the contract also. One of them, but them hardly will be kind of not for them boss, not for them work. That's what I'm saying, but not for them boss. Because why? Before you get the contract, you got to do the necessary. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the end of the day is that according to them, they might see a 500,000, 400,000, at least there's something better than nothing. But then it's in the long term benefit to them and the children in the country. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. However, Mr. Kadaki, I just trust that, you know, things go the way we wanted to go. I just hope that we stick together. like a family. Family stay together, most times stay together. So again, all the persons who are in charge of making decisions, our decisions, and who go into parliament, I wish them well. I wish all of them well. And kudos to everybody. I ain't still not no individual. Yeah, go, okay, I know it's a fight you are going in. I know not no thing. There's a battle. There's a war zone. You go there when you go to parliament. There's a war zone. I know it's 6 seats or 7 seats in front of both persons. The reason talking about that is chaos. You had 1 seat and you're doing like watching get 7 seats or 6 seats. You know this. You could walk out much you want to walk out and people get time with you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of Mr. Kadaki, have a blessed day. You stay safe and stay blessed, my brother. All I'm saying to all the opposition persons, you gotta be careful on the road. Be careful where you are go, be careful you are dealing with. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Have a blessed day, brother.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. What we need to go forward is a clean voters list, the biometric, and no more GCOM. No more GCOM. Let us go and vote without GCOM. We doesn't want GCOM. There we go back to the way what we know. We don't want GCOM. We don't need GCOM. Clean voters list, biometric, and that's the way forward.
Good morning, Brother Karaki. I must congratulate the APNU team. I must say a big congratulations to you and Dr. Hines. Y'all did a marvelous job with the limited resources you all had. Look at the well-oiled fun campaign the PPP run and the WIN team run. Compare the kind of resources that APNU team had. Fourthly, the government had the whole government machinery at work, from the cash grant register to call persons to tell them vote PPP, to start distributing contracts, what they didn't do in the last 4 years, 5 years in office. They suddenly start distributing contracts. Oh man. Down to the observer said, it's like the Chinese and the local business money. Unfair competition. Unfair competition. The observer said the government are using the state resources to run their campaign. It's unfair, unethical. I want to congratulate you. Y'all won. Y'all won with a kind of system like that. Y'all won with a kind of system like that. Secondly, this country needs constitutional reform. How you get your campaign money and how you're running campaign, because it's unfair for an opposition to run against the government in this country. So going into this parliament, we got a lot of work to do. If we get constitutional reform, we get biometrics, we got a whole point of we get biometrics for GCOM, we get a new registration list, not even not enough for government are running here. And no election. Because Brother Kadaki tell you plain, I am not going to vote with them and without biometrics and without constitutional reform. I am not going to vote because it's the same situation we're going to end up in. So we got a lot of work. And let her put a money with a mouth there now. When? And so I'm going to put a money with a mouth there. Because constitutional reform is the only way forward for progress in Guyana. Thank you, Brother Karaki.
Hey, call. Let me say this. This is absolutely right. I've said it from the get-go. That we need biometrics and a clean voters list right now. Because there's no point of going to the local government election, which is due perhaps in a year's time, with this current state of affairs. She said we have a lot to do in Parliament. I think we have a whole lot to do out of Parliament. I said it in 2020. I started it in front of GCOM. I'm saying it in 2025, but I won't be starting it in front of GCOM. They are 16 and 12, 28 members of Parliament. And they must lead from the front. They must lead from the front. I think I saw Flash Gordon saying the AP and you shouldn't start anything or shouldn't do anything or whatever. Let Win lead. I want to suspect that if we sit and wait for Win to lead, Judgment morning will come and we're going to be in the same situation we are in. Judgment morning will come and we're going to still be in the same situation. Azzuddin Mohammed, as unofficial up until now, leader of the opposition, I don't know that Azzuddin Mohammed has any interest in protesting to get the system, the electoral system changed. He's already in Parliament. He has his get out of jail ticket already. Right? So if we sit and wait for Azzuddin Mohammed to lead, I don't think we're going to see the day. Because as a businessman, he got business friends. And as a businessman, he would have the interests of his friends' business at heart. As some protest going to disrupt business, we ain't going to protest. So as far as I'm concerned, Guyanese got a 6 and 9. And the AP and you got some baskets to fetch water. I don't know what the end result is going to be. I see Ron Majid say, shut your stink mouth. Go brush your teeth and sleep. Seems you just as dunce as the president. You ain't got nothing to contribute to this conversation. So why keep you here? It is better to keep your mouth shut and let others believe you are a dunce than open it and remove all doubt. Have a good day. Good riddance. I can take more calls. I have 14 minutes. And I also have more voice notes.
Mr. Kadaki, good morning. Good morning to the viewers. The mantra of the PPP is cheating, stealing, violence, and crime. They don't know nothing else other than that. And the thing that they're doing,
Everybody blaming not only lose because black people betray themselves and because of nothing they not the money like any other person to share out and done things that needed to be done. So everybody blaming that. And the PPP rig and they lose this election. I know that for a fact from the deep core of my soul, they lose. They're all over East Bank begging people for their support. Most of the people did not vote. Most of the people cross over to Mohammed and they're saying that, oh, it's not an AP and you the people cross over. People cross over from all them party and went to Mohammed. Mohammed win his election. But because they know they could bully and he doesn't know politics much, that's what he does. They are the riggers. Why was it take them over a whole week before they could say they win and going out on the street with a narrative? Jagdio especially, 5 more years, we win the election. To make slave, you have to have the black people hate on the whole one. And the young one hate on the parents. And they hate themselves for not having what they should have. So that is the way to control a slave. Bring him, strip him in front of his parents, and beat him to death. And ask him to subdue. And his parents are going to tell him, yes, follow them, we don't want to die.
Yes, it's 12 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I don't think I have any other voice notes, so we can take another call now. But let me verify that there. Oh, I see another voice note, I think. Call you on. Good morning.
Morning. Morning, Tough. Morning to the guys, poor and everybody else. There's so much to break off. Anyway, let me start with let me ask you a question, sir. Can pertaining to this pertaining to this voters list, the bloated voters list, and some other stuff, right? Let's say all the oppositions come together and say that we are not participating in the 2026 election unless these things change. Let's say the PP hold out. What could happen?
What will happen is that there will be an election.
Oh, there will still be an election?
Yes, and if only the PPP contest, then it's only the PPP going to be awarded seats.
Right. Now, I asked this question to say that there's no way, with how the circumstances is right now, there's no way we can win the elections without these changes. And there's about 3-4 significant changes. And there's no way PP is going to change that for to suit us as well. So the only way this can happen, the people got the opposition, which is both, win and tell everybody they have to come out a large number and show the people well now. Show the people this can continue. Because we cannot win them people. The opposition can't win the PP without these changes. Because G come there in the pocket. The bloated list and so much other stuff. We cannot win them people without we come out and say, well, enough is enough. We have to. And we can't wait till election times neither. We have to start. I know. Banging it and banging it very hard. And before I go, I want to highlight one more thing. I saw people rejoicing for Amanda Walton and her cabal. Congratulations and rah rah way and way. People, don't be fools. Amanda Walton and her cabal, they help bring down APMO. When I say APMO, I mean the total opposition, all of the AFC, all of them. You understand me? You rejoicing for a one seat when you could have stayed and unite with your black brothers, or not your black brothers, your party, and win the whole cake. So you rejoicing for crumbs because you crumbs that you win and you got, you can no say, you have no seat. If Apple went with all of those seats and they didn't have a seat and they didn't have a seat, you with the one seat, you got a seat, you got no seat. And if you got no seat, you're making no sense. AFC is making no sense. All the people that say split the vote, Melly Mel and all of them, to I tell you, we cannot split the vote and people in splitting. Then people vote in tax. When we say split the vote, we split in we vote. And at the end of the day, the PP them, they have everything on their side. They have the rigging machine and the people loyal. And we have the total opposite of that. You understand me? So, Mr. Amanzo and Brooms and all y'all, Nigerians and all y'all, yeah, please come together. Please try some way and come together. Because it's the only way we can be peaceful. And next thing too, when one person decide to come to protest, please let everybody join them. We cannot beat these people without we in come together. It's clear as stuff.
Thank you, caller.
Not secure. Okay. Bye.
Call you on. Good morning.
Hey, Kadaki, morning. This is the first time I'm calling your program. I want to put something to you guys. I'm calling out of Brooklyn. Let me tell you something. I know I'm listening to chatter over here about that your country is going to suffer from real economic problems based on the tariffs that is being put on you. And I'm going to tell you this. The Guyanese people will never get to enjoy the wealth of our country. Never. All right? Let me put this one quick, this one thing quick to you. This year, right, was 249th year of the American Empire. And every empire lasts for 250 years. From Babylon straight down to Rome. Next year, 4th of July, makes it 250th year. And if you look, this empire is going down, it is crumbling, right? When this empire crumbles, every single part of the world going to suffer because things are based on the dollar. You trade on the dollar, all right? And Guyana is going to suffer. Big time, they're going to suffer. So, I don't know. This thing about this, these people wanting to enjoy the wealth, it's not going to happen. It's not because you look at what your government did. Put a whole heap of loans on the backs of the Guyanese people. All of that got to pay off. All of that got to pay off. And the country is going to suffer tremendously. So I hope you guys can look forward to something good, but I don't think it's going to happen. That's my piece for this morning for you guys. Thank you.
It is now 4 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. I want to say to this caller, let the tariffs come, man. Why not? If the tariffs will bring an awakening of the Guyanese people, let them come. I see in Nepal, they got the finance minister jumping overboard and pelting bricks behind him. I wonder what was the impetus. What caused them to behave like that? And whatever caused them to behave like that, I would like the same thing to come to Guyana. Abigail John said the calling making no sense. You know, she said it can't make no sense. I know it's making sense. I know it's making sense. I think it's yesterday I read a news report about the US tariffs in Ghana. Don't forget that Ghana depends a whole lot on imports with raw materials. And we don't, I should say, export too much value-added materials, value-added stuff. So there's no reciprocity there really, you know. There's no reciprocity there to say, well, when the US drop tariff on we could drop tariff on the US. But again, I'm saying, whatever stimulated the Nepalese to behave the way they behave, I want the same thing from here. Because up until now, we are very comfortable. I want something to make us uncomfortable. Follow the thread? Good. It's my time. It's a minute to the 9 o'clock hour. All I can say is hold the faith. Be strong. Play your part. Play your part. I will continue to play my part. I've played my part in the past. I've played my part in the current or immediate past. I intend to continue to play my part now and in the future. Yeah, play our part. Jillian reminds us of the Arab Spring. I was hoping it would have gone to Ghana. It never reached. Never reached. I don't know what's wrong with us. I seriously don't know what's wrong with us. How are we such a peaceable people? How is it that we're so easy to satisfy and to, you know, what's the word I should say? Make peace with. Anyways, save a thought for the people who suffered from that fire yesterday. Now, Buxtonian, I understand there are 30 persons who have been affected. I think I saw in the news it's about 3 buildings. I can't say 3 homes, but 3 buildings that were affected by the fire. And so save a thought for them. And I was saying to a friend this morning, it's good to see government is working, because it was reported that the government turned up with a lot of mattresses and so on and so forth for those people who were displaced, and they're housing them at the 6 St. Louis gym for the time being. But why house them at the 6 St. Louis gym? We got hundreds of low-income homes locked up at Diamond and all over the place. Shouldn't the PPP take a book out of the government page? When the people from, was that Hill Street or Lombard Street, when they were affected by fire, the Granger government move all them out and get them low-income homes and so on to live in. I'm sure those people have taken control of their lives now. Why not? Dear successful president, dear caring government, why y'all don't put them people in the low-income homes? And get them a fresh start. Talk to me. Our success is only for some of y'all who got teeth. Y'all have a good day. Much love. Tough love is love too. Y'all say hi to the presidents and all those who believe that he's not dunce, because they just as dunce. Bye-bye.